Om 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 Anandamayi Chaitanyamayi Satyamayi Parame. Supreme Lord, eternal truth, let us obey Thee alone and live according to truth. Good morning, Namaste, Vande Matram, welcome all of you. Today, on this glorious morning, we are going to have a spiritual discussion on fourfold being part 2. Initially, we have discussed on the same topic. The initial first two, one is Virat and second one is Hiranyagarbha. Third, fourth, we are going to discuss in this part 2, that is written by Sri Aurobindo in his golden magnum opus Savitri, the legend and the symbol, the great and the most inspired and the most interesting way it has been written in his magnum opus Savitri, the great creation. So after this Virat and Hiranyagarbha, the third we are going to discuss in this part 2 of this fourfold being. A third creation stood behind their hidden cause. Very interestingly it is written. A third spirit stood behind their hidden cause. A mass of super conscience closed in light. Just imagine things are how the steps are being taken. The mass of the a mass of super conscience closed in sight. A third spirit stood behind their hidden cause. Creator of things in his all-knowing sleep. Even if the sleep is there, it is just sleep of a spiritual trance. So creator of things, in which of course it is written super conscience, it is already mentioned. So creator of things in his all-knowing sleep, all from his stillness come as grows a tree. As the tree grows from the seed, so the seed is there. He is the creator of things in his all-knowing sleep, as the seed sleeps under the ground, from which the great tree is actually emerges out. It's like this, all from his stillness come as grows a tree. Beautiful image, as grows a beautiful comparison is there. So he is the seed and core. Just now, after this emergence, the tree coming out, then he focused here when the writes on the seed. He is not only seed and the core, he is our seed and core, our head and the base. All light is but a flash from his closed eyes. Initially, the term sleep has been used. So all light is but a flash from his closed eyes. Even if his eyes are closed, the trance stage. So, an all-wise truth is mystic in his heart. After after his eyes comes the heart. An all-wise truth is mystic in his heart. The omniscient ray is sought behind the lids. Initially eyes, second is heart, then comes the eyelids. And the omniscient ray is sought behind his lids. He is the wisdom that comes not by thought. Not about intelligence here in the quotes here. He is the quotes here on the wisdom. He is the wisdom that comes not by thought. His wordless silence brings the immortal word. Wordless silence against here in the quotes. Wisdom that comes by thought. His wordless silence, and that is wordless. So many times here we have to differentiate. We are silent, but actually we are not speechless, wordless. But some we, because nobody will be there, so will be something will be murmuring in us. But here in the course that about the third creator, third spirit, his wordless silence brings the immortal word. He sleeps in the atom and the burning star. He sleeps in man and God and beast and man. Everywhere he is the origin, he sleeps. He is as a seed. From the seed, the creation has to emerge. The tree of the cosmos has to emerge out. Because he is there, for his presence as the seed and core, he is there. He sleeps in the atom and the burning star. He sleeps in man and God and beast and stone. Not only mean and everywhere, beast and everywhere in all. Because he is there, what happens? Because he is there, the inconscient does its work. Just imagine how, for his presence, what is happening. That great miracle is happening everywhere. Because he is there, the world forgets to die. Because initially, and we have decided Jatasya hi dhruvang mrityu. So we have to die. That is the only truth for the man who has taken birth in this material globe. So because he is there, world forgets to die. Not a single man or two or a particular region. It is the world forgets forgets to die. He is the center of the circle of God. He is the circumference of nature's round. Just imagine how great, how glorious he is, how magnanimous he is. He is the center of the circle of God. He is the circumference of nature's round. Where they have gone, everything belongs to him. His slumber is an almightiness in things. Awake, he is the eternal and the supreme. Above was the brooding bliss of the infinity. Its omnipotent and omnipotent repose, its immobile silence, absolute and alone. Just imagine how awake he is the eternal and the infinity. Eternal and supreme. Above was the brooding bliss of the infinity, its omniscient and omnipotent repose, its immobile silence, absolute and alone. So, thing is there, he is alone, wordless silence, creator of all. For him, the inconscient actually starts its work. Because he is there, the world forgets to die. He is the center of the circle of God. Entire the circle of the God, he is the central point. Circumference of the nature's work. Everything is he. From him, all emerges, and he is all is he, all are his. All powers are woven in countless concords here. All powers were woven in countless concords here. The bliss that made the world is his body, in his body lived. The power, the bliss, there is a bliss behind the creation of the world. That bliss, which made the world, is in his body lived. Love and delight. After this bliss comes the love and delight, where the head of the sweet form. With the sweet form, it is actually bliss that made the world is in him lived, in his body lived. Love and delight were the head of the sweet form. In the alluring message of their snare, recaptured, the proud, blissful members held. All joys, outrunners of the panting heart, and fugitive from life's outstripped desire. Everything is there. Love is there. Bliss is there. Joy is there. Then blissful members, everything has been decided, everything this declared, everything is there. Whatever happiness comes in a dream and a trance, the nectar spilled by love with trembling hands, the joy the cup of nature can't hold, had crowded the beauty of his face. So how he has been described very significantly, Sri Aurobindo describes. Whatever vision has escaped the eye, whatever happiness comes in dream and trance, the eye can't catch, even it can't be dreamed or tranced. The nectar spilled by love, and that with trembling hands. The nectar is in the hand, spilled by love with trembling hands. The joy the cup of nature can't hold had crowded to the beauty of his face. Everything that nectar, joy, everything is there. That crowded to the beauty of his face. His face actually it is packed with nectar, sweetness, nectar, immortality. We are waiting in the honey of his love. This nectar, the joy the cup of nature can't hold, had crowded the beauty of his face. We are awaiting in the honey of his laugh. His laugh is like a honey. Initially, we have listened, we have of course discovered, and we have also seen some description, glorious description on the mother. Of course, we have seen, and about her while describing on the her own face, we have seen a very interesting. All mights and greatness shall join in her, beauty shall walk celestial on the earth, delight shall sleep in the cloud net of her hair, and in her body as on his homing tree, immortal love shall beat his glorious wings. A music of gleefless things shall weave her charm, the harps of the perfect shall attune his voice, her voice. The streams of heaven shall murmur in her lap, her lips shall be the honeycombs of God, her limbs the golden jars of ecstasy, so her breast the rapture flowers of those paradise. She shall bear wisdom in her voiceless bosom. Strength shall be with her like a conqueror's sword, and from her eyes the eternal's bliss shall gaze. A seed shall be sown in death's tremendous hour, a branch of heaven transplant to human soil. Nature shall overleap her mortal step. Fate shall be changed by an unchanging will. This is the glorious definition we have seen before. It is in the voice of the divine mother, supreme mother, and here also see the description of the supreme. So they see how it is there. The soul, the ideas, things hidden by the silence of the hours, of course, the ideas that find no voice on living lips. The soul's pregnant meeting with infinity had come by to birth in him and taken fire. The things that were totally unimagined, unexplored. It has not come to existence, still existing, undiscovered. These are coming, had come, the soul's pregnant meeting with infinity had come to birth in him and taken fire. The things is imagine how the glorious definition, gloriously it is defined. Eventually we'll see the other format. The secret whisper of the flower and star revealed its meaning in his fathomless look. Fathomless look, that is unrevealed. It was the secret whisper of flower and star revealed its meaning in his fathomless look. His lips carved eloquent like a rose of dawn, his smile that played with the wonder of the mind and stayed in the heart when it had left its mouth. Just imagine how the description is there, how he is, who really he is. Glimmered with the radiance of the morning star, glimmered with the radiance of the morning star, jamming the wide discovery of heaven. Heaven, earth, worlds, nectar cup, smile, undiscovered, intangible, the things have been described in that this process with the just unimaginable, just simple, obviously it is significant. His gaze was the regard of eternity. His gaze was the regard of eternity. The spirit of its sweet and calm intent was a wise home of gladness and divulged. The light of the ages in the mirth of the hours, a son of wisdom in a miracled grove. A son of wisdom in a miracled grove. Just imagine the fourth one is described how beautiful. The son of wisdom in a miracled grove. In the orchestral largeness of his mind, all contrary seekings were there. Close kinship no new. There is no tussle, no strife. All contraries they are adjoining in a divine harmony. There is a balance. Then what happens? Rich-hearted, wonderful to each other mate, in the mutual marbling of their myriad notes, and dwelt like brothers in one family. There is no tussle, no quarrel, no strife, and dwelt like brothers in one family. In one family, as the with the bondage of love and harmony, the two brothers dwelt like this. Contraries no were not at all found there, who had found their common and mysterious home. That home is there, it is common, it is mysterious, it is significant, and the two brothers are staying there without conflict, without tussle. As from the harp of some ecstatic god, there springs a harmony and a lyric bliss. Once again, this contrary was been sketched out. Now itself there comes the harmony, and harmony of the lyric bliss, harmony of the lyric bliss, not an adjustment. It is the truth. It is the universal truth. There springs a harmony of lyric bliss, striving to live no heavenly joy unsung, no heavenly joy state unsung. Such was the life in that embodied light. Such was the life in that embodied light. Light is capital. Then what happens here? Aurobindo gloriously defines that fourfold being. What is the real expression? How he expresses and he pursues and he finds. He seemed the wideness of a boundless sky. He seemed, after this describing the things, Sri Aurobindo's conclusion on these fourfold beings, Sri Aurobindo quotes, he seemed the wideness of a boundless sky. He seemed the passion of a sorrowless earth. The sky is boundless. That wideness he seemed. The earth, sorrowless earth, the passion of the sorrowless earth, he seemed. Then he seemed the burning of a worldwide sun that is worldwide, and the burning of the worldwide sun, no obscurity, no darkness. Two looked upon each other, so soul saw soul. Just imagine, two looked upon each other and the soul saw soul. Time to conclude. Thank you. Vande Mataram.